It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl, the kickoff of our 31st season here in Prince George's County, where we test science IQs and hope that you'll play along and test your own. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Oxon Hill Middle School, would you say hello to Emily Baca Cruz, Ryan Scotland Mitchell, and Diego Feliciano. And from Walker Mill Middle School, here they are, Wendy Bickersteth, Taylor Rollins, and Chabuzer Egwim. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. Down to the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again, advancing to the middle school semifinals and finals later this season. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly before we start. Red team in Oxon Hill, Ryan, would you try your buzzer for me? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you. Nice to have you back again. Diego and Emily, nice to have you here for the first time. And Taylor, would you try the green team's buzzer? It looks and sounds good, and good luck to you and to, they were alternates before, now they're on set here, Chabuzer and Wendy. Let's have a great game here today. May the better team win. We go alphabetically O before W, so Ryan, start the bowl.
Let's have Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points to start the game is a visual question. Would you look at the monitor, please, in the studio? And this bird is known as a frigate bird. As a seabird, it is unusual because its feathers are not waterproof. It cannot get wet. Most people, when they look at this bird, think it reminds them of what prehistoric flying reptile? Oxon Hill.
Pterodactyl.
The pterodactyl, or the pteranodon. Absolutely right. Good. Red.
Let's get physical for 10.
Physical for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. If I said the 7 Dwarfs or the Jolly Green Giant, you would think about literary characters or TV ads. But if you were an astronomer, those things would be these.
Constellations. Constellations.
Not constellations. Good try. The Jolly Green Giant and the 7 Dwarfs, astronomically, what are they? Or could they be, Ryan?
Celestial bodies.
More specifically.
Planets.
Again?
Planets.
Planets? We'll take that. There are dwarf planets, but there are also dwarf stars and giant stars, so we will accept that. Go.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, extracts from the leaves of this plant, because of their stomach-soothing properties, are often found in candies that you eat after dinner. Ryan.
Mint.
Mints, absolutely right. Good. I could see everybody clicking there, putting them all together. You did a nice job. Go.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, moss grows close to the ground, has roots, but those roots are just for anchoring because they get most of their water through what process? They pull it right out of the air. What's that process called where they get the water out of the air? If you're a moss plant, Walker Mill.
Condensation.
You got that right. Nicely done. Okay, Green, you're on the board. Good. Thanks, Chabuzer, for your assist. Go, Taylor.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Porcupines, like a lot of other animals, including dogs, indulge in osteophagia, which means they like to chew and gnaw on these. Walker and Mill.
Bones?
Bones, yes, because of all the minerals in there. Porcupines and the dogs, they like to get the calcium out of there. All right, 80-75, almost a tie game. Go Taylor.
Green things for 10.
Green things, 10 points. Teams, cashews are nuts. We think of them as nuts, but they actually develop inside of these apple-like fruits, so they're not really nuts. They're these. Oxon Hill.
Legumes?
Again?
Legumes?
Not legumes. Good try. The cashews are not really nuts because they're found inside of an apple-like fruit, so they're not nuts. They're really these.
Seeds?
Seeds, yeah, they're just the seeds in there. Yeah, nice comeback. Go. Tie score. Nope, you have a slight advantage. Go.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. You know, instead of using your fingers, you can dial a number inadvertently and embarrassingly on your cell phone with this body part, Oxon Hill.
Butt?
Your butt, yeah, a butt call. We've all gotten them. Some of us have made them. Go, Red.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, what word means both of the following things? The space something takes up and the level of sound. Oxon Hill. Same word means both.
Matter?
Not matter. The level of sound and the space that something takes up. What same word defines both?
Mass?
Volume. Turn up the volume. And the volume that something takes up. Good tries, no points that time. Go again, Red.
Body system for 10.
Body assistant for 10 points. Teams, the largest tendon in your body is named for this mythological Greek who had a vulnerable heel. Oxon Hill.
Achilles.
The Achilles tendon, yes indeed. Good, go.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points, teams. This butterfly is known in Canada as King Billy. Here in the USA, it has an equally regal sounding name. Walker Mill?
Monarch.
The monarch, absolutely. Good listening skills. Go.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points, teams. Multiple choice question. When cancer spreads through a body, is it known as metastasis, metamorphosis, or malignancy? The spreading of cancer through a body, which of those three, Ryan?
Malignancy?
Not malignancy, good try. Metastasis, metamorphosis, or malignancy? The spread of cancer through a body. Metastasis, absolutely right. It metastasized. Oh, something none of us ever want to hear. Oh, the buzzer has rung. What a great start to this game. Right now, that score, look at it. Almost tied. Oxon Hill 95, Walker Mill 105. We'll be back with more Science Bowl in just a moment. Don't you go away.
If you're like most families, you probably have video game fans in your home. But not every game is right for every kid, which is where the ESRB ratings come in. They help parents make informed decisions for their kids. And there's an easy-to-use mobile app that gives you detailed info on specific game ratings. Video game consoles have parental controls that you can set to block certain games by age rating, so they get all the fun, and you get peace of mind.
Never look a howler monkey in the eye. We built the entire library out of recycled bottles. Fried ants are delicious.
We finished a clinic in a rainstorm.
Really?
That was a confidence builder. My students actually ended up teaching me. So I learned this dance. I'll show you this dance. Yeah.
In la keg, a la king.
The classroom was more of a class tent. I think managing a sales team is tough. Try working with 5 different villages. My alarm clock was a rooster. Beans for breakfast, beans for lunch, beans for dinner. We ate a lot of beans. I learned a 3rd language.
My seatmate on the bus was a goat.
Always include the village elders. Always. My morning commute was by canoe. After 2 months, I was ready to quit, but after 2 years, I didn't want to leave. I didn't know I had it in me.
Turn 2 years of service into a lifetime of experience.
Here we go. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. As I said at the top of the show, this is our 31st year. Long time to do this show, and every year we get better and better students here, and 6 of the best are here with us today to start out this new season. They're just phenomenal, as you just witnessed. We've got more questions, but a few personal ones before we get any further along. Let's go to Oxon Hill Middle School, and nice to have you guys here. Ryan, give us the Oxon Hill commercial. First of all, who's your principal there?
Mr. Coleman.
Mr. Coleman. I know how much he supports this team. And is Mr. Muniz here today?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Titus Muniz, who started as a sponsor just a few years ago and has really adopted this as his own, and we appreciate, Titus, all the work you do. Did you have any alternates on your team, Ryan?
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, he's out there. We're going to bring him up with Mr. Muniz in just a few moments' time. Tell me about Oxon Hill. Why do you like going there? What's one of the best things?
It's just an overall great school. I mean, there are a lot of arts integration programs, and it's just really fun.
Wow, I love that. You know, that's the best commercial you could deliver. What is it that you do there extracurricularly?
There are several things. Soon the chess club will be starting and stuff like that, and then there are several dance and arts ministries there, so yeah.
That's great. What do you want to do when you get older?
See, I wanted to be a physicist because I have an equal love for math and science. So.
Yeah, because we talked about that before, and this is Ryan's 2nd year with us here, so his experience is showing. Diego, nice to have you here. You told me earlier that you were on a similar kind of show when you were in North Carolina.
Yes.
What was the name of that show?
It was called Academic Derby.
Academic Derby. And was it all science or was it all subjects?
It was all subjects.
All subjects, yeah. Well, you have a certain kind of presence on camera here. I can tell that you're comfortable here. Why'd you want to be on the show?
My friend had told me about it, and it sounded really interesting to me, and I thought I would just try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Challenge yourself. I hope you're having a good time here. What do you want to do when you get older?
I want to be a forensic scientist.
Yeah, and so lots of chemistry involved, lots of math. Actually, all the STEM subjects really come to bear on that. And Emily, nice to have you here, a young lady who wants to be an author someday. How'd you get interested in doing that?
Well, it started mostly like in 3rd grade when we got our first trip to like the public library, and I couldn't really find anything to read. And then I found the Harry Potter books.
Yes.
And that got me going.
Wow, that's a revelation, isn't it? Because, you know, each one of them, once you read one, you can't not read the other ones. And I think J.K. Rowling has come up with hasn't she come out with another book now? Yeah, so I mean, yeah, she'll be able to keep you going for quite a while here. Good luck to that. Nice to have you here. Let's go to Walker Mill, and the young man who's representing Walker Mill in the center there, also a veteran of Science Bowl. Nice to have you back. All right, the Walker Mill story. Principal.
Our principal is Dr. Nicole Clifton.
Absolutely out there, and she's a big Science Bowl supporter. And who's the sponsor of your team?
Our sponsor is Miss Barrientos.
The one and only, Regacion. Everybody thanks you here for all the support you give to our program here. And Taylor, any alternates on your team?
We have Carlos.
And Carlos will be out in a few moments here. What's the best thing about Walker Mill?
The best thing I would say about Walker Mill is all the support they gave you. I mean, we were just about to come here, about to make our way to the Science Bowl, and I had a plethora of students and a plethora of teachers come up, give me high fives, give their support, tell us to go out there and win.
Wow, so you know that your school is behind you.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And I love plethora. That is a great word. That's a great vocabulary word. What do you want to do when you get older, Taylor?
I would like to become President of the United States, if possible.
And what would you do? What do you think we need done that you just can't wait to tackle?
Well, I would like to address some of the rules that are enforced as of right now. I feel like some can be unfair to certain groups, and some are very out of date, as they were made way back when the Declaration of Independence was first wrote, and they may need a little bit of updating or changing.
And that's why we have amendments to the Constitution, because things change around here. But you know, we're only 200 and some years old. We're kind of new kids on the block still here in the world. Good luck to you. We'll vote for you. Chaboozer, tell us about yourself.
Well, I like to draw, and I also play cello. I'm really good at art, and I think my favorite subject would have to be orchestra.
That's great. And you want to get into graphic arts someday?
Yes.
Yeah. How long have you played the cello?
For about like 4 or 5 years now.
Is there an orchestra over there at Walker Mill?
Yes.
Wow. And is it as tough to play as it looks?
No, not really. It's once you like get your posture and stuff, you can play really easily.
Yeah, but it's practice, practice, practice. Yeah. A lot of discipline. I can tell you're a disciplined person over there. Wendy, tell us about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
Well, in my spare time, I usually stay after school for science bowl, of course.
Yes.
But some of my friends and I are trying to make volleyball an official school sport in our school. And currently we're working on a letter to give to the Board of Education.
And that's the way to do it. And of course, there's a student representative there too that you can even funnel that through if you need to.
Yes.
And volleyball's a great sport. Doesn't take much. Just that net and beach volleyball too. Well, that's stretching it. But we'll just go for the regular volleyball right now. All right, let's get back into the game here. And almost tie score. 105 Walker Mill, 95 Oxon Hill. Last correct answer came from the green team. So lots of high-valued questions still remain. Taylor, where to?
Science potpourri for 10.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, DC Comics heroine Black Canary is known for her high-pitched scream that is beyond the range of human hearing, meaning it is what kind of sound? Beyond the range of human hearing, Oxon Hill.
Ultrasonic.
You got it. Ultrasonic it is. Thank you, Diego, for your help on that. Go, Ryan. Tie score, 105.
Daylight science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, because she died, scientist Rosalind Franklin, who actually found the DNA double helix structure through X-ray diffraction, could not share this prestigious prize with her colleagues Watson and Crick. What prize could she not get? Taylor.
Nobel Prize?
Nobel Prize, yes. They cannot be presented posthumously. You must be alive. So unfortunately, she just died too soon. Nicely done. Go, Taylor.
Body systems for 15 points.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, the television commercial for COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, features the big bad wolf, who cannot do what, Oxon Hill?
Breathe.
He can't breathe. He can't huff and puff and blow down the pig's house. All right, good. Go. Red.
Let's get physical for 15.
I'm sorry?
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. The Juno spacecraft that is now observing Jupiter, the planet, is not using the radioactive chemicals that normally power those things. They're using solar panels. They're not using what chemical element with the symbol Pu to power them? Yes.
Plutonium?
Plutonium it is, yes indeed. They're afraid of the leaking radiation out there, so the solar panels are a good fallback. Go again, please. Red.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri, 5 points. Teams, for the first time ever in the history of criminal justice, the testimony from one of these African gray birds is being accepted by the judge. Walker Mill. Yes, sir. Give me something. Let's go over to Oxon Hill. For the first time ever in judicial history, a judge is accepting the testimony from an African gray version of this bird.
Emu?
A parrot. The parrot witnessed a murder and keeps saying, repeating the scream that the woman made. So, yeah, they're using that parrot as evidence. Okay, go Red.
Daylight science for 5.
Daylight science for 5 points. Teams, stolen years ago, the Smithsonian is now getting back a letter written by this preeminent evolution scientist, Walker Mill.
Charles Darwin.
Charles Darwin, yeah, Chibuzu says, Charles Darwin, say it slowly, absolutely right, that Darwin had written to a geologist and has been missing for almost 60 years. They're getting it back. 120 to 135 advantage, now green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, there was a Scotsman by the name of Robert Brown who came up with a system for classifying plants based on the size and the shape of these tiny grains that all plants produce during reproduction. Walker Mill.
Pollen.
Pollen, yeah. The size and the shape of the pollen was the determinant as to what group plants fell into. That system didn't last. All right, 140, 135, a 5-point advantage for Walker Mill. Go.
Super 8 for 20.
Super 8 for 20 points. Teams in the movie Finding Dory. The blue tang had as a buddy Hank the octopus, who was missing one tentacle. Walker Mill.
7 legs. 7 legs.
He had 7 legs.
I need to know more.
No, he wasn't.
What you got?
He wasn't.
Oxon Hill, you're going to get a chance here. I already said the octopus was missing one leg, so instead Hank was not an octopus, but this.
Septopus.
A septopus, yes, the prefix for 7. That's what I needed to hear. All right, good comeback.
Dateline Science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, the famous New York Yankee Yogi Berra butchered the English language. He once said that he had a batter that could bat from both sides of the plate, and instead of calling him ambidextrous, he called him this term for an animal that lives on land and water. Oxon Hill.
Amphibious?
He said the batter was amphibious, yeah. He also once said, if you don't go to other people's funerals, they won't go to yours. Yeah, okay, go red.
Zoo Parade for 25.
Zoo Parade for 25 points. Big one in that category. Teams, a disease known as bivalve leukemia is a kind of cancer that afflicts these kinds of invertebrates. Give me one that would suffer from bivalve leukemia, Walker Mill.
Clams?
A clam, yeah, or an oyster or a scallop. Nicely done. Green.
Green things for 25.
Green things for 25 points. Teams, your question is as follows. No animal can digest this carbohydrate found in plant cell. Oxon Hill.
Glucose?
Not glucose, good try. No animal can digest this carbohydrate found in plant cell walls, relying entirely on intestinal bacteria to break it down.
Cellulose?
That's it. Cellulose is that carbohydrate. Nicely done. Thank you, Wendy, for your help. Go, Taylor.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, if you are an athlete and you're drinking Gatorade or another sports drink that is rich in electrolytes, it means it contains acids, bases, but mostly these in the form of different kinds of chlorides. Walker Mill. What you got?
In different types of chlorides. Sodium?
Not sodium. No. Oxon Hill. Acids, bases, and these, mostly in the form of chlorides, are what you find in these sports drinks like Gatorade.
Salts?
Salt, absolutely right, like sodium chloride and potassium chloride. Nice comeback there, guys. Good, go. Thanks, Diego.
Body system for 20.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, big words, but a simple answer. If you're having problem with your poop, you may have EPI, exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means your pancreas makes the hormone insulin no problem, but is having trouble making these E-initial kinds of chemicals that help to digest your food. Oxon Hill.
Enzymes?
Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Good, go.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25. Big one in that category. Teams. Malleus, incus, and stapes are the 3 middle ear bones, better known as the hammer and these 2. The hammer and what other 2 bones are the familiar names of the 3 middle ear bones for 25 points? Yes, sir.
Pistons.
Not quite, Walker Mill. The malleus, the incus, and the stapes, those are the Latin terms for what we say in English are the 3 middle ear bones, better known as the hammer and what other 2?
The nails.
The hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup are the 3. No points there. 210 to 190, still very close. Down to the last 5 questions. Go red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please, for this question. This strange-looking antelope, known as the saiga antelope, lives in Central Asia and Kazakhstan. Recently, practically all of these antelopes died en masse because a bacterium caused hemorrhagic fever throughout the herd, meaning they all died because of a lot of internal what?
Waste.
Walker Mill.
Bleeding.
Say it again.
Bleeding.
Bleeding, absolutely right. That's the hemorrhagic. Good, go. Green. 210, tie score.
Dateline Science for 20.
Dateline Science for 20 points. Teams. The lightning rod atop the State House in Annapolis that was struck last July, luckily it was there, it saved the State House, was built and put there by what famous American inventor and statesman? Oxon Hill.
Thomas Edison.
Not Thomas Edison, no, what famous American inventor and statesman built and installed that lightning rod atop the State House in Annapolis?
Benjamin Franklin.
That's he, Benjamin Franklin. Well done. Go green.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, multiple choice question. When the Earth in its orbit is at its perihelion, P-E-R-I-H-E-L-I-O-N, is it closest to the sun, farthest from the sun, or closest to Mars? The perihelion in its orbit, Taylor.
Closest to the sun?
Yes, sir. Closest to the sun it is. Good, go.
Science potpourri for 25.
For 25, 4 parts to the answer. Let's see if you can get them all. In the movie Jurassic World, the younger of the two brothers ran into the building and was so excited because he remembered all 4 of the nucleotides that make up the DNA helix. Can you give me the 4 letters of the alphabet that identify those 4 nucleotides that make up DNA? Tough question. You can do it, guys.
THGF?
THGF. No, good try. Give me the 4 letters that make up the DNA double helix. Do you have any idea, Oxon Hill? A, C, G, T. Adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. That buzzer says, with 1 question left, our game is over. We'll be right back with a wrap-up. Don't you go away. Welcome back. What a way to start out a new season. Back and forth like a tennis match. 2 equally matched teams here. We're proud of everybody here today. Look at that score. Our final is Oxon Hill 210, Walker Mill 255. So Walker Mill, you were a Pass County champion, maybe this year's as well. Wendy and Taylor and Chabuza, congratulations. Carlos, thanks for being here as the alternate here. Dr. Shelton, the tag coordinator, thank you for joining us. And Ms. Barrientos, you are the best. Always sending us terrific kids over here. I want to see some big smiles over here. You guys were fantastic. Diego and Ryan and Emily, you guys were never here before. You'd never know it. Jeremiah, I know you're proud of these guys. And Mr. Muniz, thank you again for being part of this. Also, you just always do a super job. And we thank you for joining us today. Hope to see you many more times during this coming season. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.